Every new year arrives with hope, but 2026 will only be different if your habits are different. Life does not transform because the calendar changes, it transforms because you do. And the first step is learning to build habits that align with the future you want, not the past you are trying to outgrow. Many people carry their old patterns, old reactions, and old routines into a new year, expecting new results. But life responds to who you are becoming, not who you were. If your habits are shaped by your past, your future will look exactly the same. But if your habits begin to reflect the person you want to be, everything in your life gradually rises to that level. The habits you choose act like seeds you plant in the soil of your future. Some seeds grow into strength, clarity, and confidence, while others grow into stress, fatigue, and regret. The quality of your life is a reflection of the habits you repeat, not the goals you set. You may want success, peace, health, or financial stability, but wanting does nothing without habits that support those desires. A future is not built in one big decision, it is built in 1,000 small decisions that you repeat every day. And the future version of you is shaped quietly, consistently, and silently through the habits you practice when no one is watching. To build habits that align with your future, the first thing you must do is become deeply honest with yourself. Ask, what do I truly want my life to look like in 2026? What kind of person do I want to become? What qualities do I want to embody? What habits belong to that version of me? When you picture that future version of yourself, calmer, more focused, healthier, more disciplined, more successful, you need to ask what that person does daily. Does that future version waste time scrolling endlessly? Does that version sleep late and wake up tired? Does that version depend on motivation to act? Or does that person build a structure, discipline, purpose, and clarity into their days? Once you see the difference, you will understand that transformation is not a mystery. It is a choice. Another important part of building future-aligned habits is letting go of the identity tied to your past. Many people remain stuck because they still see themselves through the lens of old failures, old mistakes, or old limitations. They say things like, I'm not a disciplined person, I always give up, I can't stick to routines, or this is just how I am. But these are not truths. They are stories you've repeated for so long that they feel true. When you allow old stories to define you, your habits will follow those stories. And the moment you change your identity, your habits automatically begin to shift. The habit of waking up early becomes easier when you see yourself as someone who values peace, preparation, and purpose. The habit of managing your time improves when you see yourself as someone whose life deserves order. When your identity rises, your habits rise with it. Building future-aligned habits also requires replacing overwhelm with simplicity. Many people fail because they set habits that are too big, too demanding, or too unrealistic. They want to transform their lives in one leap. But transformation never happens in one step. It happens through consistent, simple actions that compound over time. Start with small habits that require little resistance. 5 minutes of journaling, a short walk, reading a page before bed, organizing one corner of your room, reducing screen time by a little every day. These small habits may look insignificant, but they shape your mind, strengthen your discipline, and slowly shift your lifestyle. Small habits build confidence, and confidence builds consistency. And once consistency becomes part of you, your life begins to transform without force. To build habits that align with your future, you must also protect your environment. Your surroundings influence your habits more than your motivation does. If your environment encourages distraction, you will live distracted. If your environment encourages laziness, laziness becomes normal. If your environment encourages growth, growth becomes natural. This means creating spaces and routines that support your future self. A clean workspace, a simple morning routine, a designated time for reflection, boundaries around technology, and people who support your discipline instead of weakening it. You cannot build a powerful future in a weak environment. Either your environment designs your habits, or your habits design your environment. Another part of cultivating future-aligned habits is learning to embrace discomfort. Every meaningful habit requires some level of discomfort at the beginning. Waking up early is uncomfortable. Reading instead of scrolling is uncomfortable. Working on your dreams instead of procrastinating is uncomfortable. But discomfort is not a signal to stop, it is a signal that growth is happening. The habits that transform your life rarely feel easy in the beginning, but the more you practice them, the more natural they become, until one day they shift from uncomfortable to empowering. Too many people choose habits that feel comfortable now, not realizing that comfort today often becomes regret tomorrow. Choose habits that may feel difficult today, but will feel liberating in the future. Another key to future-aligned habits is staying aware of your progress. Many people give up because they don't see instant results. But habits are like planting a seed. Nothing appears on the surface at first. But beneath the soil, roots are forming, strength is being built, and a foundation is developing. Transformation always begins invisibly. Your mind becomes clearer, your discipline grows, your emotional balance improves, even before the external results show. You must trust the process long enough for the transformation to surface. Track your habits, acknowledge your progress, and celebrate consistency, not perfection. Perfection is unrealistic. Consistency is powerful. Your habits for 2026 must reflect the life you want to experience, not the life you are trying to escape. You cannot become your future self while carrying the routines of your past self. Every time you choose a habit aligned with your future, you take one step toward a new life. And every time you choose a habit shaped by your past, you reinforce the life you want to leave behind. The choice is silent but powerful. The world may not notice your habits immediately, but your life will feel the impact over time. When you begin to build habits inspired by your future, your confidence grows, your direction sharpens, and your inner strength deepens. Your days start to feel purposeful, your mind becomes calmer, and your actions begin to align with your values. One of the greatest misunderstandings people carry into a new year is the belief that motivation will carry them through their goals. Motivation is beautiful, but it is also temporary. It comes in waves and disappears the moment life becomes busy, stressful, or uncomfortable. You want 2026 to truly transform your life, you must learn to stay consistent even when motivation fades. Because the truth is, your life is not shaped by the days you feel inspired. Your life is shaped by the days you show up even when you don't feel like it. Transformation belongs to the consistent, not the occasionally motivated. Consistency is not about intensity, it is about stability. You don't need to wake up every day feeling powerful or unstoppable. You just need to wake up and take one step forward, no matter how small. People often wait for a perfect burst of inspiration to act, but life changes when you act without waiting. Consistency is the silent force that builds habits, strengthens character, and aligns your daily actions with your long-term goals. You might not see results immediately, but the transformation happens in the background, like a seed growing roots beneath the soil before it breaks the surface. When motivation fades, it is not a sign that something is wrong with you. It is simply a sign that you are human. Everyone experiences days where they don't feel like trying, where discipline feels heavy, and excuses start sounding reasonable. But these are the exact moments where consistency becomes a superpower. Successful people are not the ones who never lose motivation. They are the ones who train themselves to keep going despite losing it. They build systems that make discipline easier, not dependent on emotion. If you want to transform your life in 2026, you must build routines that operate even on the days you are tired, frustrated, or uninspired. Consistency also requires patience. When you begin new habits, your mind expects immediate change, but meaningful progress is slow, silent, and often invisible at first. This is where most people quit. They assume nothing is happening because they cannot see results. But transformation always begins internally. Your mind becomes stronger, your awareness deepens, your decision-making sharpens, and your discipline grows. These internal shifts are what eventually create external success. If you quit too early, you never reach the stage where the results show. Patience keeps you moving when motivation disappears. Another essential part of consistency is learning to lower the resistance. People often make discipline harder by setting unrealistic expectations. They set huge goals, try to change too many things at once, or create routines that are impossible to maintain long term. The key to consistency is starting simple. Make your habits small enough that even on your worst days, you can still show up. Read for 5 minutes, walk for 10 minutes, meditate for 2 minutes, clean one corner of your space, write one paragraph. These small actions may seem insignificant, but they keep the chain unbroken. And once you show up, even in a small way, you reinforce your identity as someone who is consistent. This identity builds momentum, and momentum carries you further than motivation ever will. Consistency also requires removing the temptations that drain your discipline. Your phone, your environment, the people around you, these can either support your habits or sabotage them. If you want to stay consistent, you must design your environment in a way that makes the right actions easier and the wrong actions harder. Put your phone in another room during important tasks. Sleep early so you can wake up energized. Surround yourself with people whose habits lift you higher. Keep your workspace clean so your mind feels lighter. Your environment shapes your behavior more than your motivation does. If you set up your surroundings wisely, consistency becomes natural, not forced. Another aspect of staying consistent is having compassion for yourself. Many people break their consistency because they expect perfection. The moment they miss a day, they feel guilty, and guilt turns into quitting. But consistency is not about never failing. It is about always returning. Missing one day is normal. Letting it become a pattern is the real danger. Be gentle with yourself. If you miss a day, start again the next day. If you fall behind, restart without shame. Consistency grows stronger when you forgive yourself and move forward, rather than punishing yourself and giving up. Consistency also teaches you emotional stability. You start learning that your mind doesn't always need to feel like doing something for you to do it. This trains you to separate your actions from your emotions. You become stronger, calmer, and more reliable. When you practice consistency, you start trusting yourself more. You know that even if life becomes chaotic, you can rely on your inner discipline to guide you. This trust in yourself becomes a powerful source of confidence, helping you make decisions with clarity and strength. Over time, consistency creates a powerful compounding effect. A little progress repeated daily becomes massive transformation. 10 minutes of practice today may not seem like much, but over months, it becomes hours of improvement. A small habit of saving money daily turns into stability. A short daily walk becomes stronger health. A few moments of gratitude daily become emotional strength. The compound effect turns tiny actions into huge results. But this only happens when you remain consistent long after motivation disappears. In 2026, your life will not change because you learned something new. It will change because you applied it daily. It will change because you showed up even when you didn't feel like it. It will change because you refuse to break your commitment to yourself. Motivation may start the journey, but consistency completes it. And the version of you who stays consistent, especially on the days it feels hard, is the version who will transform your life in ways you cannot imagine. Remember, your life won't transform overnight, but it will transform over time if you stay committed to the habits that shape your future. The small steps you take today will become the strength you walk with tomorrow. Don't wait for the perfect moment. Start with what you have, start where you are, and trust that every little act of consistency is building a version of you that is stronger, wiser, and more capable than ever before. 2026 is not just another year, it is your opportunity to rise into the person you were always meant to become. Keep going, keep growing, and keep believing in the power of your daily actions.